Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello, everyone out there, and welcome to the Elite Racing Network for tonight's Mark Rebilas photography event from North Wilkesboro. 150 laps out here tonight. In the booth tonight with me is Josh Adams and Nick Massey. Should be a fun race tonight. I think they've got about 3 sets of tires, maybe 4. 1 on the car, 3 in the pits. As you see here, they are gridding up. We should be able to see some great short track racing tonight. No cautions. And what do you guys think, Nick, Josh? You guys think we're going to see any cautions tonight? You know, what's the over/under? About 12.5?
Way over.
Yeah, I think we're going to hit the over on that one. I think 150 laps. Hopefully we keep it clean and green, but I could see, I don't know, I could see less, I think. But we will see. Starting grid here.
Unfortunately, I think you guys are right on that over, but we're going to have wishful thinking and hope that we can see some green flag racing tonight. As you see here, taking a look at qualifying, Matthew Weeks, fastest in practice, won the pole as well. Going to start up there with Ethan Stanley. Great run there for Hunter Smith. Chad Frankenfield rolling off 4th. Jay Canor, Tyler Fody, Scott Crump, Ethan Burrell, Ty McIntosh, and Thomas Coonan will round out your top 10. We have 1 lap left here, so we do not have time to go through the rest of the grid. So find your favorite driver on the pylon and hope that they can miss this first wreck. Real quick, boys. Picks to win. Who you got, Josh?
I'm running the booth, so I'm not gonna make a pick. But shout out Tyler Wong.
What about you, Nick? Who's your pick right out here tonight?
I'm going with 37 Ethan Burrell. My pick tonight. I think he's going to get it done, keep the car clean.
As the green comes out here, we are live. Matthew Weeks picks the top. I'm taking Scott Crump here, boys, tonight. I got to get that in there just in case we get a wreck early. Taking a look here. Stanley trying to work that bottom side. Not going to happen. Weeks is going to get clear on the top all by himself. The battle is on for second. Chad trying to stick it in there on the outside. Just hanging on to his right rear. Just enough for Stanley to not be able to come up. Now we get down here to this end. This is where Chad should be able to stay up here, maybe make a little better corner on the top. Come off of turn 2. Stanley's going to take it. Prove me wrong. So our first 3 are single file with a battle for 4th.
Yeah, we single file pretty quickly here. It looks like single file all the way back to our top 10, except for this battle for 4th. Like you mentioned, Hunter Smith, Tyler Fody. Fody trying to get it down the outside. A nice purple paint scheme tonight.
Yeah, and I talked to Fody a little bit before. They didn't seem too optimistic down there that they were going to be able to run too hot tonight. Talked to him, talked to Scott. I don't think they were quite looking forward to it, but temps are all over the place nowadays. You can't really get a good baseline in practice of what's a good lap time versus a slow lap time. As you see Hunter Smith really struggling on the bottom. Tyler's going to get just about clear as they head for turn 3. Hunter's a guy that's came a long way too. Like I know you guys remember way back when Hunter first got here. He wasn't too competitive. He would run mid-pack, you know, and now we see him at the road courses running up at the front. Short tracks, here he is up here towards the front. It seems like everywhere Hunter has really found himself some pace.
Yeah, strong start strong starting spot tonight. Already running the top 5, so we go. I didn't expect this. I don't know about you guys, but first looked like we're single file all the way back here to 15th or so now.
Yeah, and they're taking a look on the screen. You just flashed through Gerald Campbell, who has having his first race back since the hurricane that I believe they had to evacuate from and find somewhere else to stay for a few days there. And of course, if you are a weekly tuner in or to the Elite Racing Network, you saw some things that happened. And he had to serve a suspension. He is fresh off that suspension out here at North Wilkesboro, a place where Gerald always seems to run strong and find a way to get a good finish. So would not be a surprise at all to see Gerald find his way up here to the front and have a shot to win this thing here in about 150 laps. And right in behind him there, Scott Crump. I mentioned I talked to him. He wasn't too optimistic and maybe proving himself right a little bit. He seems to be backing up, and he's got a gap in front of him and cars right on him. So that tells me at a short track, he might be holding some of these boys up. .30 car looking high, looking low. Messed up down there just a little bit. Jared Rexon right in there behind him. All these guys trying to find a way around Scott Crump. Back in the field, contact. Dustin Dewars up on the curb. Maybe a little contact out of the 25. Nearly had us an accident down there in the middle of 3 and 4. Everybody checks up, gives room, and continues on. And we are 10 laps in. Still green here tonight, fellas.
Just give us some time. They'll get comfortable and decide they want to see some yellows.
And Dustin Dewar is the guy right now. He just about got hit again there from Joe Francis. Right behind him, Dustin's really, it looks like maybe slowing down in the middle than one of the guys would expect. But he's getting great drive off. Dusty's a guy who runs pretty well at Martinsville and some of these other short tracks, so I'm sure Dusty is trying to figure out how to find his way here to the front tonight. Joe Francis there right behind him. Getting a little bit loose, got a cloud coming over. That's going to give these guys a little bit more grip.
And one guy not too far up the road right here kind of didn't have a great qualifying. It's Tate Lytle back here in 24th. Him late right in front of him. Zach Evans right in front of him running the high lane. Tate's going to have to work his way through the field tonight. And we're already 13 laps in. I mean, they're clicking off some pretty quick laps here. This race can go by in a hurry if it's going to be hard to dig yourself out of that hole if you don't get some yellows to help you.
Yeah, and speaking of Tate, as our one of our drivers, Andrew Rucker, would say, he went and picked some cherries last night in the truck series and did some cherry picking and won that race last night at Pocono.
Yeah, you two were in that race, right?
That we were.
We were on the wrong side of the strategy last night. A couple fast trucks and should have pitted there under one of those last cautions, but it's just so hard to, like, we had so many cautions in the first half and then went caution free in the second half. And it's like tonight, I think, too. I think if you can run green around here as long as they have, you get into a rhythm. You kind of get, fall into a pace and a rhythm, and you're not running into the guy in front of you. Now, they might prove me wrong and wreck right here as I'm talking about it, but at a short track, if you can get a run started, usually you can make it last until something happens. And when I say something happens, I mean something crazy or somebody getting sideways and getting hit, somebody not checking up. So I kind of like what we're seeing, and I think this could go on for another 20, 30 laps at least. We might even see the leaders get into some lap traffic here over the course of this run.
Yeah, and there was a lot of conversation in our...
Oh, there it is.
At 71, Dave Carpenter, you saw it right there. Just have a little wiggle going in the corner and up on the fence.
Yeah, he kept it. But as I was saying, we had a little bit of conversation in our private driver's chat about whether the winner was going to ever pit in this race for tires. We might end up seeing the winner have to pit the way they're running under green.
Yeah, I think at this point we've went far enough, and the tire wear, from what I understand, is, I mean, it's not terrible tonight, but from what I understand, it is sufficient, and it is wearing out the front tires. So I think we've went far enough. If we got a caution, I think we'd see everybody pit right here. I mean, looking at these lap times, they've only fallen off about a half a second or so. But that's back in the field. Let's try to take a look here at Matthew Weeks, who has Ethan Stanley all over the back of him. Matthew Weeks has fallen off just a little bit north of a half a second. So, yeah, these guys have fallen off somewhere between a half a second, 7/10 of a second in that neighborhood right here. And we'll have to see how this all works out and what happens, but hopefully they keep running green.
Yeah, we saw Matthew Weeks, the center of some controversy last week, and one of the ways to put that behind is to come out and dominate a race, and he's putting it to these boys pretty early on in this race this week.
Yeah, and we've seen that a lot lately. Some guys get out there and they just get out there in the lead and they dominate, but he is not driving off. We do not see the John Cutlip. They're 3 wide back here in the field as well with Frank Fody, William White. Seth took a late dive in there to 3. I think Frank might have backed out and said, I don't want any part of being on the outside 3 wide. There you see them all get single filed out. But I think the last thing you want to hear down into turn 1 at North Wilkesboro is 3 wide, boys. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't want to hear it. It would more so depend with who I'm 3 wide with, but I definitely would not want to hear that at this point.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of guys down into 1 getting loose. That tells me these guys have got the rear brake really turned up. A lot of guys going down in here and rotating the car with the brake and kind of pitching the car a little bit sideways. And over the course of a run, if you continuously do that, you're going to overheat that right rear. A lot of guys were talking about right front getting hot and pushing. But there's been cloud cover this whole time, so you've probably been pretty hard back to the throttle. I would not be at all surprised if these right rears are more worn than these guys expected in practice. And that's something kind of new here on the sim for everybody, is how the track changes in practice. So you can't really judge lap time. You really can't take anything from practice other than a balance of the race car and how you feel like the car is for you. Lap time, you can chase lap time and never gain anything just because of the way iRacing. And the 25s around down here in 1 and 2, no caution. We're going to stay green. But how do you guys like that track change and how it changes in practice where you really can't tell if you're fast or not?
Yeah, it makes it interesting, going into the race, because you just like them guys in real life. A lot of times they practice in conditions that they don't race in, so you don't really know how it's going to go. And I think it's sometimes more fun when you don't know how your race is going to go, and sometimes you even adapt to the way the track is by the time the race starts. So, or maybe you go backwards.
Yeah, I think especially for short tracks like this, like how often do we practice long runs, because we don't really expect to get them, so kind of just hot lapping and trying to stay up front and play the tire game correctly. We're getting a long run here tonight, so I don't know if these guys even practice for it.
Yeah, and it's just really unique. Like I know that we've had conversations amongst ourselves here, amongst the 3 of us. Not everybody else, but the 3 of us have had conversations asking after a practice. We'll go out there and we'll practice, and then we'll get ready to qualify, and we'll ask each other, what's the grip level? Because sometimes you're picking up half a second, 3/4 of a second from practice to qualifying, and when it's that big of a difference, you've got to drive the car harder. You've got to drive the car different. You've got to get back to the throttle harder, drive in deeper, and if you haven't been able to do that all practice, it's really hard to find that line in just a lap or 2. As we sit here, Weeks, Stanley still up there, just separated by about a car length. Taking a look here at the battle for 3rd. Chad's got Tyler Fody all over the backside here. Oh, we got the 36 around. We're not going to get a caution. He spun down. He hit the pit barrels and all, but it's put him on the inside of pit road. Not a good go of it there for Joe Francis. He hit pretty hard. I'm surprised that thing is still mobile. As we take a look here at what happened to him, I believe this is off of turn 2, so it's going to happen down here in 3 and 4. It's underneath the Leighton Orgard. Johnny Thomas out there. We're going to get down here. Joe's going to he's just going to get loose. Starts to go around. He's going to, oh, there's no water barrels there. It's a tire.
Oh, you got pretty lucky.
Oh, he hit it. The right rear took a heavy hit, but luckily it didn't hit the tire. If that hits that right rear tire, it's probably broke.
Yeah, it looks like maybe he just got a little bit behind on that braking that that you touched on a little bit ago, Chris, and it probably got light as soon as he started turning the wheel for the corner and never had a chance to catch it.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think a lot of these guys, like Nick said, probably practiced 10 or 15 lap runs, and the cars got tighter. And so they've dialed this rear brake into the car, so you're leaning on the right rear going at the corner, and they've been able to get back to the gas pretty hard because this is the first time the sun's been out, so they've been leaning on this right rear, and I think all these guys might need to come back on that brake bias a little bit. I think they're all wearing out that right rear, and we're seeing them all start sliding around, going into the corner, off the corner. It's really hard to get that right rear back, too, once it's going. You got to really just back it off and just make a couple laps, and then it'll hopefully gets cooled down for you.
I'm kind of surprised at the intervals too. You know, looking at this scoring pylon, it's almost 7 seconds back to Scott Crump in 10th for Weeks, and Weeks and Stanley top two pulled away by almost 2 seconds. Tyler Cope. A lot of pace.
Are they in that traffic? They should be getting the traffic, right?
They're close. Half a straightaway away. But Stanley's been right with them the whole time.
I think Stanley's going to try to take this lead. I think Stanley said, I've had enough. I'm going to try to make this pass. And if you're going to do it, probably now's the opportune time because it's before you get the traffic. Oh, we're wrecking here off of 4. Johnny Thomas is around.
I hear Tate Lytle in game chat saying it looks like Johnny might have gotten net coded, so it'll be interesting to see who got into who here.
68 of Thomas Coonan right here.
I'm not
About
seeing
16th.
a whole lot of netcode, boys. We're going to take a look here on the replay, but I think the 68 is going to get loose to start coming down and just, man, getting right reared in the middle of the corner is not something you want to have happen. And those white dotted lines being there kind of tell the tale. You see how hard, well, we're going to take a look here. But those white dotted lines kind of separate the lanes, and you'll get a chance to see. I mean, he just drives down in here. He's going to start getting loose, and right here, he's getting loose, coming down, and just. I'm going to tell you, Johnny got out of that about as good as he could have. Wouldn't you agree, Nick? Like that could have been really bad, but not nearly as bad as it could have been.
Yeah, luckily the center of the corner speeds are so slow here. He kind of just did a slow slide and barely got in the wall, so definitely could have been much worse.
Well, while we are working the first caution and everyone did come to pit road, take this opportunity to get in our first commercial break of the night because we might not get too many opportunities based on how things went here this first run.
It's one to go.
And welcome back here to North Wilkesboro Speedway, where, as you see, our front 4 have not changed here. Working this first caution. Everyone did come to pit road, get 4 tires, and we were talking about all those cautions that wasn't going to happen or that were going to happen. And, well, here we are, 44 in, boys. 1 caution. Time to see how it shakes out from here. Matthew Weeks picks the top again. Green flag is out. We are on the loud pedal. Weeks gets away once again. The battle is on for second. Chad trying to get there. Weeks didn't get into turn 1 quite as good as he probably would have hoped. Stanley's still right there. Racing side by side down in the 3. Stanley's going to pull ahead just a little bit. Weeks still leads the lap. Weeks has still led every lap to this point, I believe. Side by side at the front, side by side all the way through the field right now as well.
Oh,
Oh,
Stanley
sideways.
And
Wow.
Weeks is lucky they hung on to that thing. I don't know how they didn't wreck right there. Stanley got super sideways as it went to brakes.
And I'm going to tell you what, if those two wreck side by side in front of the whole field in the 3, we're probably counting the cars that weren't in the wreck. Oh, we're wrecking in the back of the field. The 30's around, the 6 is around, the 46, the 41. I think the 25 is down there. We got us a big wreck here. Cars sitting everywhere.
Doors in it. Cody's in it. What happened? We'll go to the blimp cam for this.
I think it starts with the 30. It starts with the 30. The 30 gets tagged by the 6. The 46 slides in. Just heading down here for turn 3. They're all pretty spaced out. You wouldn't think that we're about to see a wreck down here. William lifts a little bit early maybe. So the 30 checks up. The 6 just doesn't quite get checked up like he needs to. Gets into the back of him. 46 touches the back of the 6, goes to the brake. That tells me, that's real easy to tell right there that Kyle Hanshaw machine, the 46, lots of rear brake, because as soon as he hit the brakes, he started spinning.
Oh, and Frank almost got through and just got tagged right there. And then Seth Rawls about the same thing right there. Got through.
Yeah, and Frank's coming up, and he gets somebody up there when Frank spins back up the racetrack.
I thought that was Seth, but Jeff Ryan on 35 maybe?
There's our fans taking pictures of the accident.
Yeah. Oh, look at those photographers get a great shot right there where the car's looking right at him. Corey Abbott
is
looking
Mark out here tonight? I haven't seen or heard from Mark yet tonight. I don't think Mark's here. Mark's somewhere maybe Mark's down there taking pictures. He's sitting this week out taking some pictures down there.
See if we can look at this one more time. Base cam right here with 21 Corey Abbott.
Yeah, you see the wreck, trying to sneak your way through.
Oh, man. Who is that?
Well, that was Frank.
55.
Frank got tagged trying to get down there.
Not
a good stretch of racing for people with Joe on their car. Joe Francis went down there and wrecked in the pit road. Gilberto here sees everybody spinning, gets to the top.
Oh, man.
Just nothing.
And
there was nothing Frank could do there either. There was nothing. Just unfortunate.
Thinks he has it clear, and just out of nowhere, Frank Cody comes up the track. Hooked.
Nonetheless, our leader is still Weeks. We are on 1 to go. We're going to line them up. We're going to do it again, boys. Josh, I'll give you a chance too. I forgot that you were doing the tallies and that we kept an update on that. So who's picked up the tallies so far tonight?
Oh yeah, the first one was the 68, and then this one right here, we gave one to the 6, just square into the back of the 30, turned him around.
Well, all of a sudden we went caution free all that way, and now we've had 2 cautions in the last 10 laps. We get restarted. Weeks gets away a big jump this time. Stanley's going to be into second place. He is clear of Fody if he so chooses to take it. Oh, Stanley nearly into the back of the 11 there once again. I'll tell you what, these boys are racing hard for this lead up here. You see him there, single file the first 4 now. We talked about him earlier when he qualified bad. Tate Lytle's cracked the top 15. So he is trying to come up through this field and get out of all the chaos back there.
Stanley
we
running
see
the top
Stanley.
down there, trying to get a run. Pull the over and under on him. Can't quite get
Yeah,
there.
it's gonna be hard to make this pass right here at this point in the run. Oh, we got to stack up into 3. Hunter Smith was up high. I think the 9 thought he was gonna take a dive, and it created a big old jam. But we all survive. Everybody continues on. Maybe you couldn't see Hunter with that black and blue camo there. But either way, got away with something down there that pretty lucky he gotten away with. Gerald trying to look to the outside of 3 wide. Here goes Gerald Campbell.
Oh, I don't know if it's gonna work.
And
Yeah.
I believe,
Oh.
and Scott's around. The 20's involved. Tate Lytle's in it. Oh, man. 20, 21's in there. The 12's back there. The 30. The 32. Gerald just rolls right around the top. I don't think Scott knew they were 3 wide.
5 in it, Tate Lytle in it, Michael Hosack.
24 gets into
Leighton
it. There's the
Norgard.
68. The 6. The 06. The 71's down there. Wow.
Get an overhead blimp cam here coming out of the corner. They just kind of all funnel together. I think that's a tough corner to come out of 3 wide, even 2 wide. It's kind of an odd angle coming out of there.
I just don't think the 90 knew that they were 3 wide, which is kind of weird because the 00 is pretty far up there.
I think you're
And
right. I
then-
think he's just a little too far back for the spotter to call it out, maybe because it's kind of a staggered 3 wide situation.
But then the wreck goes on. I'm curious about Tate's damage. Tate gets into the back of the 24. And I think Tate's going to get hit by Gerald here as well. You see the 6? Man, the 6 came in there pretty late and hit the 12 pretty hard.
Seth Rawls barely gets in it.
The 6 and the 25 came in real late. Can we back up and see what they saw there? Why they came in and hit, like the 12 got slingshotted by the 6 there.
Six here.
Alright, they're wrecking. You see the wreck, and it, man, not a whole lot of brake applied there until you hit, and I mean, it killed the 6.
Hey, you see the toe way out on that thing.
Yeah. A lot of cars getting some big damage. The 56 has actually got worse damage than I thought he had, as we are lined up here to go again. The 00s, a lot of these guys stayed out. I mean, you look back there, the 24, the 00, the 56. They don't look good. Josh, did you give a tally for that wreck right there?
No, we were going to do a racing incident on that one. The 90 was coming up. The 20 was a little bit loose off. We don't know who all just knew they were 3
Oh,
wide.
big wreck here on the restart. The 06, the 41, the 32. Oh, the 6 late again. I wonder if he's got a brake pedal in that car tonight. 6 was the last car in line, and he flew into that wreck.
Look at what happened. I'm surprised he was able to get that fixed because it looked like the toe was way out on that thing.
I think it starts, the 24 had something go wrong with the shifter on the start. 24 is saying he had some kind of shifting issue taken off. So that creates it. You see them go to, they're all gone. The 24 tries to go,
Oh, yeah.
can't go, but they wreck behind him. That's not where the wreck happens. I think the first car that was spun was the 06, maybe.
Oh, stop down.
Now here's the 6.
Looks like the
what's
32
the 6 doing
maybe?
here?
Start with the
The si-
32?
I think it's the 06. I think it starts with the 06. The 32 is back here ways too. Like I think the 06 spins first.
6 is Zach Evans. With the stash.
Yeah, with the stash. So
He just doesn't know. He can't see. Tagged. Yeah, it's just a little chain reaction there, and
There's the
Fody in it
41,
again. 32.
32. And the 6 is going to come in here too. Like, we're 3 days later, and there's the 6. Not real sure what the 6 was seeing there. Can we take a look at that 6 car again? Yeah, you're the last car. Look at this. You're the last car in line trying to catch the field, and they wreck on the restart. And what are we doing here?
Oh yeah.
What are we doing?
Way out of whack.
Yeah, that's steering out of whack or not. Like, why are we still carrying that much speed? I just don't understand that.
But man,
I will.
you're cleaning green for so long. Now we just have to have a string of cautions, 4 in a row.
Yeah, and we're gonna pay some bills right here. I'm gonna talk about Blue Egg marketing. Rev up your business with Blue Egg, your marketing pit crew. Turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that can navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Don't spin your wheels. Accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win. Also want to give a big shout out to Worldwide Technology Raceway. They are a motorsport facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. They have a 1.25 mile oval that hosts NASCAR and the NTT IndyCar Series. They have a 2-mile infield road course used by Speed Tour, Trans Am, SCCA, and the Porsche Club of America. And they also have an NHRA sanctioned drag strip that hosts the annual NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series Midwest Nationals event. And they have the Kartplex, a state-of-the-art karting facility. As the green flag comes back out once again, Matthew Weeks. This time Chad's on his inside.
Tyler Wong's up on the seat right now. Driver going for the lead. Weeks can get the runoff too and clear him.
And we'll take this opportunity to congratulate Chad, winning the Indy 500 last week here. Pretty big win for him. Ooh, Stanley, sideways back there.
Yeah, I was in that race. It was fun for the 15 car. It was not so much fun for me. Very hard to get a hold of.
Yeah, and that race ran with only 1 caution as well. So see Stanley kind of backing up here, really struggling.
My pick right there, cracking the top 5. Ethan Burrell just got around Tyler Fody.
My pick was backwards on the backstretch in the grass, a few cautions back.
Oh, guy kind of coming forward. Oh, Fody gets in the back of Ethan. Fody heard what I said, didn't like the pick. I'm gonna say Jared Rexing making his way forward, up 7 spots, and he's trying to go for 5th here.
Did we have a tally on that last caution there, Josh?
Oh yeah, it was the tally on the 24 for the malfunction.
Nothing for the 6?
No, the 6 was he may not have slowed down as early as he wanted him to, but he was on the brakes, slid into it.
Jared still trying to work that bottom side. Around all these crashed race cars back here, just outside of view. The 90, the 24, the 00, all right behind him. And their cars all look like they've ran at a short track. There they are. Look, Tate doing a little drifting.
And one thing we haven't really been keeping track of, I mean, I know these guys are damaged, but they probably came down and got a set of tires here. They got a little bit of tire damage.
And I believe this is the halfway lap. I don't know if there's a stage point to the leader or what, but Matthew Weeks is going to come across the line this time and is going to lead this halfway mark. Just out in front of Chad. Hunter, Stanley, Burrell.
Trying to pull up. Next week is the regular season finale cutoff rate. Playoffs. I'm trying to pull a bubble.
Well, while you're doing that, we're going to talk about Matthew Weeks. And I know next week, with it being the regular season cutoff, we're probably going to a super speedway, if I had to guess. As you see Hunter Smith, that they're putting a lot of pressure on Chad for second right now. I believe they are teammates. Can anybody confirm those two are teammates, right?
Yes, they are.
What's it like being a teammate with Chad? Does he give you all the information, or does he keep some things in-house?
Who are you asking?
I believe only one of us in here has been a teammate of Chad's.
He shares information until you get to the playoffs, and he didn't want to give me any tire wear information. I thought we were buddies, and then he's like, "I'm not gonna tell you." Like, all right.
Well, right now, Hunter's running right there, trying to put the pressure on his teammates slash car owners slash not car. Chad will tell you he's not the car owner, but he is the car owner. I don't know. I don't know who's running the show over there, but I feel like Chad's got a lot to say. So I'm going to call him the car owner.
So the points bubble as it sits right now, Gerald is plus 10. He's the last driver in. Seth Rawls is 10 out. Justin Wadsworth is 14 out. Chad is 19 points out. So Chad is really needing a good run here tonight. So far, he's able to do it.
And yeah, right there at that bubble, we see Gerald Campbell running 10th and Seth Rawls running 11th. So at the moment, Seth isn't doing what he needs to do to make up that ground on Gerald.
Where is David Tooker at in the bubbles spot down there? Where's he at?
Here is plus 91, so I'd say he's pretty safe.
Well, Tooker's not getting any points tonight. I don't think he's getting any points next week either. So Tooker could be somebody right there on that bubble spot. I'm not sure about all the details of what's going on with David Tooker. As we are wrecking here on the front stretch, Scott Crump once again. There goes my pick, spinning down the front stretch once more. But just to put a bow on it, I'm not sure. David Tooker, he did something that you shouldn't do out here by stopping on the racetrack to bring out a caution, and that's why he's not with us tonight. And I'm not sure if he'll be back next week or if he's got to wait until the playoffs start. So we'll have to take a look at that going into next week, Nick, because that could end up being the story there. Is wow, the 05 just drives right up on the 90 and turns him around. The 05 was sideways trying to drive off there with the 90. Wonder if something happened there a corner or two before, as the whole field is coming down pit road. Well, for some reason, Scott had done something to make Ty mad, and Ty just drove right up on the left rear. See him getting sideways there. Ty just not left it. Ty said, "I'm going to get you." And Ty's even getting sideways, trying to carry that much throttle. I'm surprised we didn't get a more animated Scott Crump there. But to put a bow on the last caution as well, we want to thank our sponsor, 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes are custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other shoe can, and still provide all the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet.
Looks like we might have a little tire strategy here. Tyler Fody, I don't know if you guys can do to take the lead here. Or miss his box, one or the other.
Well, while we're looking at that, was there a tally given right there, Josh?
Yes, the 05 received the tally.
So there you heard it, the 05 received a tally, and that is 2 tires on the 40 machine.
Was running 5th or 6th right. Trying to get a little bit of track position. Tyler Fode. Just
Yeah,
over
but
halfway, so I have to imagine this is not the last stop.
it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough to hold off all these guys on 4 tires because when you're sliding, yeah, you're sliding on that right rear, but you're burning both rear tires when you slide. When you're pushing, you're burning both fronts. So we'll see how he holds on here. I wouldn't hate it if we had less than 10 to go, but if we go 30 or 40 laps here, I think Fode's going to be in trouble. Honestly, if we go 15 or 20, he might be in trouble.
Yeah, I agree, because I think the last time these guys were on pit road, at least for our leaders, was our first caution, a lap 45 or the ballpark.
But it is the first time tonight somebody other than Weeks has led. Maybe that's all it was. Hey, I'll gladly fall back to 10th or 15th to make sure Weeks don't lead every lap. You know, maybe that's a thinking point there.
Remember, if I remember correctly, the 40 and the 11 got into each other last week, so we'll see if they kind of carry some stuff over to the short track race.
I'll tell you what a start for Hunter Smith. Hunter's going to be the first guy to have a shot at it. Ooh, maybe a little contact from Chad to the 11. They head down here for turn 3, and all of a sudden the 11 lost the lead by Fode taking 2. Now he's battling here. Chad gets into the side of him. That's twice somebody underneath that 11 car has gotten sideways, and they've gotten away with it. So.
Oh,
The 91. Wow. That was an incredible save. And the 91's real sideways again.
Big
Tate
gainer.
Idle. Big wreck here. There's the 24.
It looks like the 9 took a pretty hard head-on impact to the outside wall off of turn 4.
Oh, and Gerald and the 24 they collided here after the caution.
It started with a 9, like you mentioned. I saw him in the wall hard here.
There's
Better
the
look.
91 getting sideways in front of him, too. Might have been fluid on the track, Nick. I don't know. Oh, contact. Right rear to 9.
8, Seth Rawls,
25, 05. Crump might thread the needle and get through there. The 20, the 24. Let this roll, and let's watch the 24. Let's watch the 24 right here. Something happens between the 24 and the 00. Oh no. I feel like the rule of thumb there is if you're the guy that got spun, you got to wait for the spot. You can't make them stop to get turned back around. I feel like that's the rule anyway. That's the rule that I abide by. If I'm backwards, I'm not trying to turn around until I know nothing's coming. Here we are taking a look at the onboard of Scott Crump. You see smoke. You see cars wrecking. He's going to thread this first needle.
Wow.
And he dodges one. Scott missed that one. Kudos to Scott. Well, I think while we're working this caution, boys, what do you say we take one more commercial break, and that'll get us all the way to the end until we get ready for some interviews.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back as we go, signaling Tyler Fode outside. Have to see with that wreck how that impacts the cutoff spot. Joe Francis involved in that. He's close to the cut line. 16 to the good. Saw Crump get by. Hero Campbell getting involved in that, but he's still rolling out here 17th, so we'll have to see how this all shakes out.
Bodie's still got control though.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Ooh, Jared, bad start back there. Bad start for Hunter. Boys, this is where it can snowball for weeks if he's not careful. You lose 1 spot, 2 spots. The next thing you know, you're not restarting in those first 3 rows, and if you're not restarting in those first 3 rows, it's really hard to try to put yourself in a position to win the race, especially inside of 50 to go.
Steve Tate, right, Tate's up here. We saw him get involved in 2 or 3 of those wrecks right there. He's up here sliding around, trying to work his way in the top 10.
And look at Jared Rexing trying to go on the attack here. Hunter Smith trying to attack. Weeks is trying to fight really hard. He knows how important these spots are. Hunter trying to get clear. That's the 2nd time in a row he's tried to drive down to the bottom going into 3 and hasn't been able to do it. They head down here for turn number 1. Hunter holding on that top side. He's going to get clear this time and drive down to the bottom.
Oh, Hunter clears, but he blinks out. Comes back here.
This could be interesting depending on where he comes back, if he comes back. He's still not back.
And he came into the night plus 37 to the good, so if he had some disconnection issues here, that could be pretty big points for him too. That could have put him pretty close to the cut.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes out with him having such a good run tonight. Hunter's going to hate that. We haven't lost him yet, but I think we're going to.
Yeah, it's been a couple laps, I think.
And honestly, when you blink out, as soon as you disappear, you want it to kick you. That way you can get back in here. Because he can't get back in until the session kicks him. So this pretty much is into his race. And there he goes. He just now got booted. So it took him, what, 5 laps to get booted? That's unfortunate.
Yeah, Pro Edge using their wizardry over there. As soon as he clears the Pro Edge car for 3rd, he's gone.
I'm gonna tell you.
Singled out, huh? So go ahead, Chris.
I'm impressed with Tyler Fody.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. I'm surprised his tires have held on. He's even pulling away from Chad a little bit.
That tells me maybe the balance of this car is pretty tight tonight. And 2 tires maybe freed it up a little bit. Maybe on the long run it's not going to be great. But if we run to lap 120, 125 and get a caution, he'll be able to pit and bring a lot of guys with him. Not everybody will come, but I think a lot of guys will come.
Chad actually starting to reel him back in now. 10th backer last time. And they're 10th and a half better this time than the 40, so maybe that Tyler Fody out of shape a little bit out of turn 2.
Yeah, and you see Tyler miss the bottom right there. He's looking a little bit free. Here comes Chad. How aggressive will Chad get to make this pass?
He said he's just trying to finish top 5, but I think he's got to be pretty aggressive to make the pass before Matthew Weeks gets to his bumper to make a move on him.
Yeah, but you don't want to go over that line. If you get to him, are you trying to get to his outside? I think if I was him, I'd try to get to his outside. I think if the 40's looking a little loose, that's going to be really bad coming off the corner. I think if you can get to his top, pin him down, force him to pinch that car on corner exit, probably make the pass pretty easy.
Yeah, a lot of the passes I've seen tonight have been guys getting to the right rear of somebody and been able to pin them down and not let them get back to the gas, and you kind of get a sit and duck on the bottom if you got a fast car on the top.
Tell you what, though, Chad's really driving into the corner hard, getting to that 40
Yeah,
bumper.
I don't think Chad's gonna go to the outside. I think he's gonna go right in the back bumper of that 40. That's what I think.
I'm really surprised how low he's trying to look down there. You see how bad that hurt the car when he, you know, this isn't like the track is now. We've got the 87 version, which if anybody at iRacing is listening, give us the version that is out there now. Even the version that you scanned, the updated version that you scanned from the late 90s, that would be a lot better, a lot more. I think this track would race a lot better if we had that version with some room down there, but we got the slow 20 up here, pulling up out of the way. These front three well out in front of everyone.
Yeah, it's too bad we don't have a minimum speed requirement in Elite.
We don't, but I was told that if somebody is significantly slower, we can park them. I had to park somebody a while back, and I was given. Oh,
we got
contact!
40 loose.
40, yeah, you will get loose when you get hit in the rear end right there. You typically don't get good traction when somebody lifts your rear end
Chad's
off.
loose now. But Chad not able to take advantage of it, and here comes Weeks. Chad tried to move him, got underneath him, but just couldn't stay there.
I think if I'm Weeks, I back off and I let Chad go at it, because I think Chad's willing to. He just showed you what he's willing to do.
That was actually, looking at it, that was Chad almost finishing him off. Fody got a little bit loose on his own before Chad got into him.
Weeks in the back of Chad now, and now Fody's pulling away because they were going at it for second.
And now here's Jared Rexing. Wow. All of a sudden, we got bumper cars out here, boys.
Yeah, I think they know that time's ticking down pretty quick here. Coming up to 30 to go, and, 20 seconds a lap, that goes by pretty fast. Oh, and Weeks is blinking.
Yep. I think he was trying to get Chad blinked out and to disappear and disconnect like he got with Hunter Smith. He must have flipped the wrong switch.
I think Weeks is probably he looks like the best car out here right now. I think he just trying to get there and bide his time.
I think Chad abused his stuff. I think Chad cooked his tires. Chad's really struggling. I think he gave one big run there. Oh, they come down and hit the contact. Weeks and Chad are into the wall. Scott Crump. The 30s in there.
And I was about to say, I don't know how hard Chad's going to want to fight. You got to think big picture. You're 19 out. You just need a solid run. And, I don't know if you want to fight these guys and just give up the spots. You're having a good night, but obviously.
I'll tell you what, I think Weeks went down in there and just overdrove the corner trying to push up. And
Pace cam on this.
Yeah, you'll see right here. I think Weeks knew that Chad had cooked his stuff, and he was trying to just make this pass in a hurry. He overdrives it. You see, big netcode there too. Yeah, so the netcode actually made it worse. Live, I thought the 11 just cleaned him out.
Crump, she's 30 in this.
Yeah, and I know Chad is mad. Like, if we can back up and take a look at that again, the Crump and Chad part. Crump was mad, or Chad was mad about that, but I think Chad kind of took off and drove down the racetrack a little bit after he got righted. I don't know what he wanted Scott to do right here. Scott goes high to miss that 11 car going down the track. Yeah. I don't know what he wanted Scott to do there, but it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, see how this shakes out. Chad still scored in third position.
Did we have pitters right here?
I believe everybody pitted right there.
I think everybody but. I think Hunter Smith has stayed out. Right? Oh, Hunter Smith disconnected.
I was going to say, I believe Hunter Smith 18 laps down, so he could have stayed out.
Everybody did pit right there. Fody once again took 2 tires, 2 right side tires. So Fody's going to the end of the race, and he's going to be putting about 100 laps, maybe 70, 75 green flag laps on his left side tires.
And that took a lot of our top 5 runners out of this. I mean, Stanley made it through, but Chad's teammate, Hunter Smith, is out.
I think a lot of guys up here took 2.
Yeah, and Chad still scored P3, so we'll see how much damage that 15 car has. You saw him get hit with got crump right there, and I don't know how damaged
no
that car is
tires on
going to
the
be.
00.
Yes, Chad was just kind of a Hail Mary throw here. He got spun around, wrecked, and he took 2 tires on that, so he's going to restart third with the wrecked race car.
Jared Rexing is the first car on 4.
Chad needs the points, but what's not good for him is the car he needs to gain points on is right there with him, Gerald Campbell. So see how hard those 2 race.
Gerald didn't get any tires though, so this is, I don't know what's going to happen here with Gerald. Green is out.
Oh, Gerald. Oh, spinning them.
Back. Oh, and we're wrecking hard.
Ethan Burrell's
Everybody
around.
about 7th on back.
Ethan Burrell's around. Oh, Johnny Thomas.
Oh, Lord, we got cars on top of cars down here.
Johnny Thomas, we pan the camera and he's coming down from outer space. Yeah, I think that was just all started with, like you mentioned, Gerald Campbell on the old tires just spun them, couldn't get going, and big stack up.
Yeah, you see that 00 up there, tries to go, spins the tires, they stack up. Heavy stack. I mean, the track gets blocked at this point. And then we just start stacking cars on top of cars here like a Jenga.
There's a parking lot down there. We'll see if we can get shot here with Ethan Burrell and Gerald Campbell. We're started up here. Already wrecking. We'll see if we can get a little farther back. Fine.
And Beeks is done. We saw how fast he was at the start, but we talked about every time he lost track position. He's losing a spot here, a spot there. Couldn't get around those 2 tire call guys. Got a little over aggressive trying to pass Chad, caused an issue. And now he's in that wreck right there as well.
Even go on board with Gerald here, or maybe chase Cam here. Watch this start. I think see the tires spin, get the power down.
And people are saying 2 tires aren't for everybody. I don't think some of these guys realize that 00 didn't have any tires.
A good onboard to watch too might be the 83 car, Johnny Thomas. He took a pretty wild ride back there.
And Gerald gets away pretty, like Gerald's going to get to stay out and restart up here again. Like, I think you've made your bet if you're Gerald. You get to stay out, you ride it.
You can go on board with Johnny. We did chase Cam on that last time. We'll see him on board. He can't even see anything going on. It just happened so fast.
Get the Belly Up Sports hood there. Stay Tuned Sports podcast there. Just a wild ride at North Wilkesboro.
Unlike Tyler Reddick, Johnny Thomas is going to get that car going back straight and continue this race.
I don't think so. I think he towed, didn't he? Yeah, I think he towed. I don't think it was rolling much. I think it rolled down the hill, but I think it's pretty broke.
It looks a couple of feet shorter than it did a couple seconds ago.
Yeah, and we actually got Johnny. Johnny Thomas has joined us here. Johnny, not the interview you wanted to have tonight in that Belly Up Sports machine, but take us through what you saw and talk to us about your night in general here.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I didn't see a whole lot. We went belly up, didn't we? We flipped over a couple times. I was in a good spot, but I knew it was going to get crazy because I took 2 tires there early on in the race, and it just didn't feel too comfortable. It was really loose on entry, looser than what it is on entry, but had a little fast, little hot rod. It was pretty quick out there. Just needed track position, and I thought if we could get away clean there in the first couple laps on that restart, I would have had something for at least the top 5, just because I knew 2 tires was a little rough. But good run. I think they're going back green, so I'll let you guys go. But it was fun while it lasted.
All right, Johnny, we're not going to let you leave out of here without shouting out your sponsors and some thank you. So go ahead and give it to us.
Yeah, Belly Up Sports for putting on the Cup Series and have myself representing those guys for a long time, including this year. And Kyle Hanshaw, my team owner, man, he's giving me big paychecks to participate in this team, and I'm happy to be on his team.
All right, Johnny, we'll let you get back down there and help out Kyle. Help him get about 9 more spots. He's in the top 10.
I told him he can wing now. Everybody's wrecked.
Well, that's right. Tell him we want to talk to him after the race. He gets to do the winner's interview. So
That's right.
hate to see the way your night ended there, Johnny, but we'll look forward to seeing you on Wednesday and back out
Yeah.
here next week too.
It's all right. Yeah, thanks, guys.
And we're wrecking a late Norgard down here. Has spun around.
Yeah, and while it's still happening, we might as well shout out some top 10 runners that are up there that we don't normally see. Michael Hosek, David Carpenter, Kyle Henshaw, as Johnny just talked about, all up in the top 10 right now.
And as we are taking a look here at this wreck, a Leighton trying to pass the 70. Ooh, just misses the entry there. Gets up into the 71, spins out. Just a single car spin. So here we sit, boys. We got 15 to go. Tyler Fody, 2 tires. He hasn't taken left since lap 50. Jared Rexon got 4 tires on the last pit stop. Ethan Stanley got 2 tires. His lefts have been on since about lap, 90 or so. We got Chad back there who changed just rights, hasn't changed lefts since the same time Stanley did, but Chad was involved in one of those wrecks. What are you guys thinking here? What tires do you want on your car? What position do you want to be in?
I just want to be in the position that Tyler Fody's in, no matter what tires I have. Just the guy controlling the race with 15 to go and all the cautions coming out. He's probably sitting pretty.
I think I want to be in Jared Rexing's shoes. Got the 4 tires, freshest tires out of the bunch. I think
Yeah, they got to give him some laps to be able to make a run at Tyler, though.
I'm going to agree with Nick. Give me the 4 tires from second with 15 to go. At some point, I feel like we've got to make 2 laps in a row. And I feel like if we make 2 laps in a row, Jared can do it with the 4 tires. That Nesquik machine out there looking pretty clean. Not quite the throwback to Jeff Green that we're used to seeing out of him, though. Yeah, you see right there. Look at there. Tate Lytle out there in 10th behind Corey Abbott, Kyle Henshaw, and David Carpenter running 7th, 8th, and 9th.
You know why he's looking pretty clean, Chris?
Why is that?
Got JD Designs on the car. Jonathan Cutlip's got a lot of cars that look real clean and real mean out there, whether it's in this Xfinity Series, the Cup Series, or the Truck Series. So shout out to John giving us a really cool color palette for Elite.
Yeah, and I believe that's all over that front, the 40 car as well, right?
Yep.
We
We could probably do it through the field and find several JD Designs paint schemes.
Well, I think all of Lake Norman gets theirs from there. So I think you can add all the Lake Norman cars. You mentioned Jared. Not sure about Chad and his group. Not sure about Hosek. Not sure about the 25 and their shift group.
Yeah, Hosek has JD Designs on his car. You mentioned the Lake Norman guys. Of course, all the Pro Edge guys.
Well, Green is out. We're going to get 12 to go. Ooh, Jared with a little wheel spin there. As they take off and head for turn 1. Jared's going to slide up there right in front of Chad Frankenfield, who is just hanging on. I think Chad probably now is thinking less about winning, like just trying to stay in the top 5. Here comes Ethan Stanley with the big dive under Jared Rexing.
Oh, you think Chad's thinking that? I don't think.
Well, I think everything changed when he got wrecked down there. Oh, and we're wrecking again. Is that the Green Bay Packers machine?
90 Scott Crump, maybe? Scott was running 11th, so that happened. Campbell on the outside here. Corey Abbott in front of him.
Now, Gerald did choose to pit after that wreck earlier.
Gotcha.
Oh.
Everybody missed him.
I think there's fluid
Looks
down
like
there.
it.
You want to go check for fluid? Drop some speedy dry, Nick?
Brakes hard. If there's fluid down there, I don't know. Maybe that they probably ran out of speedy dry. They had a couple parking lots down there. I think they had to put it all down.
Hey, you know what? I already called out iRacing once tonight, so if anybody's listening to give us this upgrade track. So why don't we call them out again? If somebody blows a motor on the racetrack, we should see some speedy dry applied down there. Like, let's get that going on. I'm not saying safety trucks are full deal there, but put us some speedy dry down there to run through. I think that'd be interesting after a restart. Go down in there with dust flying.
Yeah, they've already made a bunch of people spend $1,000 more on PC setups after implementing dirt and rain and everything. Now you want them to go put speedy dry on the track all the time?
Well, how is speedy dry any different than dirt flying around?
Adds a lot. Adds a lot to the PC.
I think we could do it. We've all went out and hunted tornadoes on some games on Steam before and had dust flying around. I think iRacing could do it. Right now we got Tyler Fody. Still out front. Does Tyler take the bottom here to help out his teammate?
I think the top's been the most dominant line on the starts. I think. I don't know. I don't see him taking the bottom.
Yeah, I think he's in it for himself at this point. But also, being on the outside, he gives Chad Frankenfield the opportunity to get to his bumper.
Yeah, I think if I'm Fody, I'm picking the bottom to pull my teammate. I think I'm putting faith in my own restart ability to say I'll get clear for any lane I want.
Yeah, also, we've mentioned out of the 10 has 4 fresh tires. I don't think you want to put 4 tires on your outside.
Jared didn't time the last restart that good. I don't think I'd be worried if I was Fody. But the lights are off and he has picked the top.
And we did just hear over the driver's chat, Tyler Fody's going for his first win in the top 2 series of Elite this season. So today may be the day.
Might be his first win, but I feel like we've had him on the podium a lot this season. Jared getting right up there against him. Pace car is going to make that left-hand turn. Green is out. Once again, a great start. It's going to pull Chad through to second. That's going to leave them to have to battle. He's well out in front right now at this point. Still racing for second. Kyle Hanshaw, David Carpenter get together. Carpenter saves it. Just 4 laps left. Rexing finally cleared a second. I think Fody needs one more caution. One more caution and he'll be able to win. But I think if we run green from here, Rexing's going to make this pass. They'll see 3 to go right here as they come down the front stretch. Rexing closing in with those 4 fresh tires. Rexing doesn't get this opportunity too often in these stock cars. I think if I put myself in those shoes, I'm going to try to do whatever I have to do to win this race.
He's closing enough, though.
Oh, you're close enough now to send it into a corner and hit him if you want.
Only half a tenth better last time by. He's going to more than that, I think, to get in the wall a little bit.
Here they go through turns 3 and 4. Going to get the white flag right here. Ooh, Rexing did not have a good 3 and 4. Actually lost some time. Rexing driving down in there. Last lap from Wilkesboro. Well, I don't think he's close enough to do anything. They head through 3 and 4 for the last time. Tyler Fody is going to come off of turn 4. Give the victory at Wilkesboro to Fody. With Rexing second.
Seth Rawls wrecking across the line as we take the checker.
Stanley, Kyle Hanshaw with the top 5, boys.
A heck of a run
Fody
for
wins
Hanshaw.
the race, but Hanshaw, man, that's the drive of the night right there. Top 5 for Kyle Hanshaw.
And that car looks pretty clean, too. I don't see any scratch on it.
Rounding out our top 10 is Michael Hosick, Seth Ross, Connor Thompson, David Carpenter, 9th. Tate Lytle will come home in the 10th position. And as Fody celebrates here on the front stretch, we're going to take our final commercial break of the night. And on the other side, we will have interviews with our podium finishers.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And welcome back to Wilkesboro, where I am standing by with our second place finisher, Jared Rexing. Jared, it was a crazy night. We saw a lot of green flag racing to start, lots of cautions in the middle, and then some more cautions there towards the end. Talk to us about your night, and did you have anything else you could have went and got Fody with there at the end?
Maybe if I had a longer run, I just when I was on the bottom there, it's so easy to spin the tires, even with the tire advantage I had on them. That I really needed maybe 10 laps to develop a run and try to make something happen. But overall, I mean, a lot better night than I expected. As a race, more green flag than I thought, and I think I outperformed myself by quite a bit too, and dodging some of the wrecks.
Yeah, and you're a guy who's an open wheel guy, race a lot of that open wheel stuff, and you kind of left the side of it for a little while. Now you're coming back. So, what's the reasoning for coming back, and what's the outlook here looking ahead? And you think there's a playoff run here in your future?
Yeah, I think I was about plus 30 coming in, so I should be good barring any new winners at Atlanta. But yeah, as far as the open wheel stuff goes, that's probably my favorite stuff that I do. But Thursdays just with my schedule don't work out, and I was kind of missing the stock car side of things, so I'm back in that. I'm going to try to do the 2003 league when we get that started up. So having a lot of fun right now, and took back to it faster than I thought I would, taking a couple years off. It's a lot of fun, a lot different than when I left.
Yeah, it's ever changing over here. But before we let you jump out of here and celebrate your second place run, and like you mentioned, you're probably looking pretty good heading into next week's Atlanta race there. And that is, I did say earlier, it was gonna. I kind of insinuated it was either Daytona or Talladega, but it is the Atlanta Super Speedway next week. So should be a very interesting race nonetheless. But are there any sponsors you want to thank, shout outs you want to give before we let you jump out of here and move focus on to Atlanta there, Jared?
Glad to have my teammate back and boss man Gerald Campbell after his vacation. And we it's fun racing with those guys and do good motorsports and just having a good time over there. And shout out my wife for being my biggest fan. Shout out to Cutlip for painting my beautiful car, and shout out to you guys for putting on a great show and broadcast for us to watch.
All right, Jared, congrats on the run. We look forward to seeing you next week and seeing what kind of run you can put together in the playoff.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you.
All right, Josh, I think you're standing by with our race winner.
Yeah, I just ran from the start finish line interviewing Fody off camera to the lifted podium over in Victory Lane. Tyler Fody, you got us?
Yeah, man.
Well, it's a pretty interesting race for the most part. A lot of green flag racing. You don't typically see that in these elite short track races. What part of that surprised you?
Yeah, just about all of it. I mean, between the temps, we were at like 130 degrees in practice, and the car was a real handful to drive. The amount of long runs we got surprised me. I'm not surprised we got at least one. We normally do that around here, but to get back to back, and I think even a third one in there was pretty surprising. Kind of had to change how you drove it because you could flip the tires and overheat them pretty quickly. But yeah, just managing that and then just kind of anticipating the elite race to break out in the second half and trying to be on the right side of strategy for it.
Yeah, it looked like it was one of them ones that was probably actually pretty fun to participate in as a driver. We saw you kind of get off sequence on the strategy that put you into the lead and let you kind of just control the whole second half of the race. Did you think that was going to pan out for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, we had to do something. Stanley was kind of all over Weeks the first half of it, but it's just so hard to pass without really getting into the guy that we were kind of stuck where we were, and I was honestly content with just riding third there and seeing what was going to happen. But a couple of the restarts, back-to-back restarts, I got in the wrong lane and then just started losing spots and rows one after the next, and I think I was back to 6th or 7th for that last little run to the halfway point. And at that point, I was going to do essentially what the leaders didn't. I almost stayed out, but decided on the 2 tires, which I'm really surprised no one else tried that. I mean, we were just going to sit behind Weeks the whole race if nothing happened, just with the way it was going. So someone had to do something. So I figured I'd do it. Yeah, put the 2 tires on, and honestly, it felt totally good. Like, not a problem at all. So I was able to control the lead there, get some people cycled back. And yeah, then the late race restart started breaking out. We did have that one more little long run, and I almost stayed out for it. And Ethan at the last second was like, let's just come in. And we both came in, we both took 2, and I think the majority of the field followed with that and taking 2 tires. And after all that, we finally got our elite race to start breaking out, but still had a little run there to the end I was worried about.
Yeah, it was a good win for you. And before we let you go, we want to give you a chance to make any of the sponsor teammate shoutouts you have. And then before you get to that, I do want to know, are we going to see a winner shot in the future? And if so, what is your drink of choice?
Well, I got to thank the Lake Norman guys. Stanley's been flying the flag for us all season, really, but happy to finally get one. Short track race, and everyone was running decent, but I mean, half the team was caught up in just junk at the end there, and it's unfortunate, but always fun running with those guys. Big shout out to John Cutlip and JD Designs. He paints all of our cars for the whole team. I've been really wanting to get his paint scheme in Victory Lane, so we finally did it. So really happy with that. Shout out to you guys for being up here. And yeah, I'll have to think about the victory shot. I don't know.
Yeah, I know that you're already going to have some questions about it probably when you get back to our drivers chat. So I figured I'd just give you a chance to answer us here on the broadcast. But anyway, Tyler, good race, good win. We'll probably talk to you next week.
I hope so. Appreciate it, guys.
Well, there you heard it, fellas. All our interviews. No Chad Frankenfield. He's still celebrating that win in the Indy 500. Got a great points night tonight. Taking a look here at the race rundown, you see Fody, Rexing, Frankenfield, Stanley, Kyle Hanshaw, Michael Hosick, Seth Rawls, Connor Thompson, David Carpenter, and Tate Lytle round out the top 10. Gerald Campbell got back to 11th. Burrell's back there. I mean, lots of good runs tonight. A couple guys I want to talk about here before we wrap things up are where did he finish? Hunter Smith, 21st, lost 17 laps in his lag out. That was a guy that was running top 3 or 4. We saw Johnny Thomas, Matthew Weeks, both having strong runs at different points in the race. Matthew Weeks led every lap until about lap 80, but then once his race went bad, it got worse there real fast. He ends up outside the top 20. So are there any final thoughts from you guys before we send it on down the road?
Yeah, we went under the line you set of 12.5 cautions, so that was a good job by the guys to give us something worth watching tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of been our string of luck the last couple of weeks. You know, follow a bet that Chris puts in and it doesn't even come close.
Well, when
Well-
it doesn't matter for real currency, Chris is pretty good.
One thing to look out for here coming up here in the next couple of days, we are going to be wrapping up our regular season in the Cup Series here at Daytona. 100 laps of Daytona coming up here on Wednesday. We've got our regular season cutoff next week. Full distance Atlanta race there next week, boys. Should be interesting there. On Sunday, we go to Stafford before we go to our regular season cutoff at Talladega. So lots of good racing. We also got, don't want to leave it out. IndyCar back in action here this week as well, taking on the streets of Detroit. So a busy week of racing here this week. So make sure you tune into Elite Racing Network every day. It's been a great night tonight working with you boys. So shout out to you guys, Nick Massey, Josh Adams for being here. Shout out to all our great sponsors, everybody from Mark Rebilas Photography, Blue Egg Marketing, Worldwide Technology, 4D Racewear, everybody at Elite, Dave Huck for keeping us all in line, keeping this train running on the tracks, and Chad for all he does for the league. But that's going to be it for us tonight, and we will look forward to seeing you tune back in on Wednesday for Daytona for the regular season cutoff for our Cup Series.